Happy Wednesday, everybody. Thank you for joining us for this week's dose of RHI. RHI's stories of courage, hope, attitude, and inspiration. Brought to you by our awesome sponsors, Wilson Kehoe Winningham. And this week is no different than all the other weeks we've done and will continue to do. We have a very special guest today, Mr. Jay Shultz, who I've known for a long time, several years now. And my name is Mindy Fox. I'm the Executive Director of the RHI Foundation that brings this awesome series to you. So good morning. And if, just want to mention this, if you ever want to make a donation in honor of one of our guests, including Jay, feel free to click on the link that's provided to you and make a gift. Every dollar goes to help us further our mission of providing the best possible rehabilitation and outcomes to our patients. So welcome, Jay.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.
Yeah, me too. Me too, especially on short notice. So thank you very much.
You're welcome.
And there's going to be a lot of people watching. I hope you share this on your own personal Facebook page, and your family, please feel free to share this on your pages also. But a lot of people don't know you like I do. So why don't you share with me what your story is, how you came to know RHI.
Okay.
And make sure you talk loud enough that everybody can hear you.
Sure. In 2011, my family and I moved to Haiti to work at a mission down there. And we'd been there about 6 months. I was a general manager for a lot of construction projects that were going on and working with teams from America that would come down to help us. And I was driving on a John Deere Gator one evening, and it slid on some gravel, and it slid into the back of a backhoe, and it impacted me in the chest and bent me over the back of the seat and crushed my T8, T9 vertebrae. And when it happened, I remember knowing I was paralyzed instantly because I couldn't move my legs. But what had me more concerned was I couldn't breathe. I was having a hard time breathing, and there was a Haitian pastor with me, and he tried to shake me, and I knew enough about spinal cord injuries not to move. And I said, don't touch me, don't move me. There was a nurse on campus, and I knew we had a backboard. And I said, go get her and have her bring the backboard. And my son was with me, and I sent him over to get his mother. And when she came over, she said I was completely pale, my lips were turning blue, and I was very faint at that time. And so she came over, and I just told her, kind of my thought process was, I'm paralyzed, can't breathe, middle of nowhere, Haiti, I'm dying. So I basically said my goodbyes with her and told her that I loved her and that I would see her when we got to heaven. And I remember her grabbing my face and just saying, "You're not going to die." And I was just kind of like, I don't think I have any choice here. But about that time, the nurse showed up with the backboard, and she had brought a bottle of oxygen. And when they laid me on the backboard, they gave me the oxygen, and I was able to take a couple of deep breaths. And later on, I learned out that I had 10 broken ribs, and both my lungs were collapsed, and I had blood clot in my lungs. So those were the issues why I was having such a hard time breathing. And where we were at, like I said, we're in the middle of nowhere, so they put me in the back of a pickup truck, drove me an hour and a half down some bumpy gravel roads to get to the main city, Port-au-Prince. And there was an American-run hospital they took me to, and this happened in the evening, so it was about 7:30 when I got there. And they just said, "We can't do anything for you, we got to get you out of here." So the next morning they flew in like a Learjet ambulance plane, loaded me up, flew me to Miami, did surgery there, inserted steel rods and screws in my back to stabilize my spine. I was there about 2 weeks, and then they flew me up to Indianapolis, and my wife had done a lot of research looking for I think it's CARF certified rehab facility, and everybody just recommended RHI. And so I came straight from the airport to here, and I spent about 5-6 weeks here as an inpatient, and then about 4 or 5 months as doing outpatient and learning the skills necessary to live in a wheelchair. So, and I've been coming back doing different things with RHI since then.
So tell me a little bit about what you've been doing recently at RHI, because that was several years ago, right? When was that?
Yeah, 2011.
In 2011, yeah. So
7.5 years ago.
But you're still here. You're
Yep.
still actively part of the RHI family.
Yeah, I think it was through the RHI Foundation they were able to purchase I don't know what you call it, a machine, an apparatus called Rewalk, which is like an exoskeleton that fits over your legs. And it has motors on it, and it senses. You use crutches, so you stand up in it, and you balance yourself with the crutches. And then when I lean to the left, it senses that the weight's been unweighted, and it makes the right leg step forward. So you kind of got to lean left, right, and you walk in it. So it's great for. It makes you feel good because you're standing up again and you're walking and have some degree of independence. It's also good for your bones to bear weight. It's good for your heart to stand up. here, and it's a workout. When I come in for about an hour, and when I'm done, I'm usually sweating pretty good.
I've seen you.
They monitor my heart rate. It's like doing aerobics or something when I get done.
Right. It's a good workout for you.
Yeah.
Yes, what he's referring to is called the ReWalk, and it's a robotic technology that we purchased through gifts from people like you, donating to the RHI Foundation. And it allows many of our past patients to come in and do this walking ambulation with the ReWalk. So it's an assisted device. Excuse me. Thank you to all of our donors that did that, that helped make that happen and make that a reality. And you like that. Tell me what you like about the ReWalk.
Number one is just a great physical challenge to be up and working out. Because one thing in a wheelchair, you have a hard time getting your heart rate up. A lot of things you do, you have to use your arms for everything, and then your arms, a lot of times my arms will get tired before I really get my cardio going, where this allows me to use my legs and to get my heart rate up. And it just also just feels good to stand up and walk around. I was telling people earlier, I'm 6'2", and when I stand up, people are like, "Wow, I didn't realize you were that tall." Because I always say I'm 4'7" now. I measure myself in my wheelchair at 4'7", so you're the shortest person, you can't see anything, and then you get to stand up and you're like, "Oh yeah, it's nice to be able to see again." And so it just makes you feel good about standing up and walking, and I enjoy it a lot.
Yeah. So. Yeah, well, you do this how often? I see you frequently.
Come in once a week. It's a pretty good deal for me. The physical therapists need to get trained on how to use the apparatus. So I'm kind of the guinea pig. So as they're learning how to work with people, I get the advantage of getting to use it as well. And then lately we've been doing advanced training, going up ramps, opening doors, walking up in the kitchen, walking up to a cabinet, stopping, opening the door up. So functional things that you'd be doing. But it's good. So they get to learn and I get to use it. So it's a win-win situation.
Right. That must have taken a while to get to a point from learning how to use this after so many years of not standing or walking or moving through the ambulation. And then all of a sudden now you're going up ramps and doing, some crazy more functional things.
Yes. Yeah, I think the first time you just have you get up and they have you work on your balance, leaning, and we took some steps, but you could take 2 or 3 steps and then you stop. You just have to get used to how to balancing yourself to use it. So it's taken, I think I've been doing it a couple of years. It's taken some time to get going. So now they want to see how far you can go without stopping, because if you don't get your balance right, the machine won't step, and then you have to stop and restart it. And so that's part of just learning your balance.
And that's a safety mechanism.
Yes. Yeah.
Built into it.
And there's always a couple of physical therapists with you to make sure you don't fall over or anything like that. So.
Yeah. Well, maybe we can post a video.
Sure.
In our comments of you on the ReWalk. I know we have some.
Yeah.
And you're like the ReWalk king. You do really. You make me feel pretty lazy when I see you working hard on it.
Well, I enjoy it, and I'm glad the foundation was able to purchase that device for this RHI. I know there's lots of people that come in and use it, but I enjoy it a lot.
So what would you say to somebody who has donated, and that donation helped us purchase the ReWalk and some of the other things that the foundation has done through philanthropy to provide this excellent care that we wouldn't otherwise be able to do, because we're a nonprofit hospital. So on the very small operational margin that we have, we could never purchase a ReWalk and a lot of the other things that we have here at RHI through the foundation. What would you say to the donors who made that possible?
First, I would just say, thank you for making those donations, and it changes people's lives to be able to come in here, like I said, to have the self-confidence, the ability to stand up in the ReWalk. I think that apparatus is around $90,000 to $100,000, so obviously very few people could afford to buy one. But with RHI having it, we can come in here, we can sign up on. They have ReWalk days where people can come in, get in the outfit, try it out, use it. It just gives you so much. Not only to make you feel good about yourself, but also just physically, it's good for you to stand, for your bones to bear weight, to walk again, like I said, get my heart rate up. So for my health, it's just so good, and I'm just so thankful, because it's something I would never be able to purchase on my own. And equipment, it's just so expensive. Everything, as you know, for people who are suffering from spinal cord injuries or stroke, you have to have wheelchairs. Wheelchairs are, cheap wheelchairs. Come to and use this equipment. I know they have a gym in there we can come in and work out It's a paragym. So it's just great to have these resources that are available to help us.
Right. And those are all made possible by our donors, by people who make gifts, just like you. So thank you. And I know that you drive a lot with your job, with your work. And
Yes.
did you do part of that through RHI also?
Yes. When I was injured, they called me into this room, and I didn't know what was going on. But there was a local doctor who had passed away, who had been paralyzed, and his wife donated his it's a Braun ramp van. So basically, they take this was a Toyota van, and they modify it. It's about a $30,000 modification. They put a ramp in it so that you can just roll up into it in your ramp, transfer over to the driving side, and you drive with hand controls. But they're very expensive. If you buy a new van, you're talking $60,000-$70,000. And she donated it, and I was the lucky recipient to be able to receive that van. And I put a lot of miles on it, driving it all over Indiana, making my sales calls and the work that I do. And it's just been such a blessing to have it, because I'm in and out of it probably 15 times a day. And if you don't have one, you have to take your wheelchair apart and put it back together. So I'd be doing that a lot, and this way I can just roll right in, get right out. And that was a gift that was made to the foundation. I was the lucky recipient to receive it. So. And
was there a process you had to go through to learn how to drive that van?
Yeah, there was. I think I got a grant from the state, but I did the drive program here at RHI as well. Where
it was our Return to Driving program,
yes,
which also was made possible through the foundation. We purchased the adaptive van many years ago that allows us to teach patients how to drive using different hand controls and different adaptations. So I didn't know you did that here at RHI.
Yeah, I ran the little Dodge van out there. And, because you have to use your hands, so you have to learn, pull it down for the gas, push it for the brake. And we started off in the parking lot just driving real slow, kind of getting used to it. And then we went around in the neighborhood real slow, and then eventually out on the roadways. But
so now you're one of those maniacs tearing down the interstate.
That's right, flying down 465 with everybody else. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, it's nice to know that we've had such an impact in your life and your family's life. You have a big family.
Yeah, we have 4 kids. I have a daughter that's a nurse. I have a son in pre-med in college, and another son's getting ready to go to college. And then we have a little girl that we adopted from Haiti that's a 6th grader. So she's our little Haitian sensation that we have, and love her. So, and it's fun, being able to do things with them. They've come out and watched me do the rewalk and see me do that. And obviously they're involved in activities. So with the van, I can take them to their sporting events and drive them around, and things like that. Just, it's all about trying to maintain your lifestyle and gaining independence, and things like the van let me be able to do that, run errands and do things that would be a lot more difficult if I didn't have that vehicle. So.
Well, I know we're getting close on time here. So one last thing I'd like you to share with everybody is, how do you feel the Rehabilitation of Hospital of Indiana has impacted your life and the life of your family?
Sure. Well, obviously it's had a huge impact on my life. One of the things that I came here immediately when I was back in the States, and you learn your skills on how to live in a wheelchair, how to open doors, how to get around, how to get in and out of bed, how to dress yourself. I mean, I basically had to just relearn the most basic things that we take for granted. I had to relearn all those skills, not being able to move anything from my stomach down. So, RHI has just had a huge impact, and my family was always able to come in, spend time with me during the day. I had a good friend who was able to take me to all my outpatient rehabs. So just all my support people were here with me. Got to be friends with you and different the physical therapists. My PT got married shortly after I was here, so they invited me to the wedding. I was able to come to her wedding and see it. So you become one of their friends and part of their family, and it's helped me gain my independence and be able to return to a normal life, and it's had a huge impact on my life.
Yeah. Well, that warms my heart.
Yeah.
So thank you for coming and sharing.
I'm happy to do it.
Yeah.
Like I said, RHI has had a huge impact on my life, and I'm happy to come in anytime and help. So.
Pretty cool. So I hope that Jay's sharing the story of RHI in his life and his family's life has filled you with some inspiration. For those of you who may be watching from the hospital or from home, and you've been a patient here as well, or a family member of a patient, maybe it's given you some inspiration and hope and courage to move forward. And we hope that this helps with your attitude towards whatever challenge you may find, and that it gives you all the feels, right? So thank you for joining us. And thank you to our sponsors, Wilson Kehoe Winningham, for allowing us to do this series this year. And if you'd like to make a gift to the RHI Foundation to help us continue changing lives of our patients and their families, please click on the link, and we welcome you to make a gift in honor of Jay. Thank you so much, Jay.
Thank you. I'm glad to be here.